Okay, hello and welcome to the 2018 O-Level Unseen Poetry section. Alright, so as usual when we analyze a poem, we are going to look at the question first. For the more advanced ones, they won't even need to look at the question because they can predict what will come out. After all, as we've gone through, there's not that much variation in question types. Okay, uh, let's think a bit about what kind of question will come out for part 1. Okay, and then part 2. If you mention part 1 being about vivid imagery, you're right. And if you think that part 2 will come, we will ask about the significance of the imagery to the author, what feelings it provokes in him, you are right as well. Okay, so let's take a look. Right, as we can see here, we'll underline this. Vivid pictures of the fruits. Okay, and over here significance. Right, vivid. So it's what's unusual. Sorry for the handwriting. Trying my new tablet here, and the other one is like the importance. Okay, and usually what it means to the author, or you might not know what it means to the poet, but what it means to you. Okay, so some emotions will be important here, whereas over here it will be more of I wouldn't say exactly common sense, but more like style. Okay, alright, so let's take a look. This is lines 1 to 21, so they have helpfully done the work for you, so you don't have to search that much. Alright, again, why I love the poetry section, alright, although you can feel free to do whatever you want. Why I love this so much is because there's you can't really miss, right? There's just so few words in the first place that you can't miss what they're looking out for. You can just pick any line and you're more or less guaranteed to get it. Okay, so let's take a look. Alright, let's spend some time doing this poem. You can pause, but I'm going to think out loud. Okay, so I'm looking for something that's unusual in the first half. Okay, I'm just gonna add here unusual. Okay, so 5 years ago, planted half a dozen fruit trees, small new garden, sensing a need to bring nature's miraculous abundance right into our home. Whoa, I think that is something unusual. Okay, so I almost said unusual this, but yeah. Okay, alright, right into our home. I mean, the first part, half a dozen fruit trees, that's I think completely normal. Alright, apple, cherry, 2 kinds of oriental pears, normal. Apricot vine, green and red, both sweet. Purple plum tree, which was already there, near the back wooden fence. I removed it. Okay, I mean, these fruits are, kind of normal. Something strange here, but I'll come back to it later. In the next part, get into a kind of true blissfulness, watching the various fruits multiply, ripen upon the bough, loving the way their bulks grow in the warm sun, the serene summer long, and when fully grown, their collective weight would bend the slim boughs in graceful curtsies towards. Okay, this one I think is pretty obvious. Graceful curtsies. That's what device is this called? Personification. Okay, so you know that this device is being used. Maybe I can look at. Okay, multiply and ripen. Not exactly. Alright, because I mean that's what fruits do. Although I notice he's describing it a little bit like humans. But maybe when he mentions this, right, into a kind of true blissfulness, watching them multiply, ripen. The way that he even loves the way their bulks grow. Okay? In the warm sun, the serene summer long. Alright? Maybe how he describes this as well. Okay, collective weight. Alright, something to consider. It's so, I don't know, romantic the way he's describing all this. Okay, moving on. Stooping low to drink fresh dew on the grass, or even a bit of fancy, a midsummer night's dream. The branches arch to retrieve a fond piece of. Okay, I hope you know what a trace of love. Hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to underline this. Sequestered means, uh, sequestered means hidden. Oh, it's not. You can't see it. I'm going to scroll down. Whoops. Yeah. I'm going to leave it up to you. But sequestered means hidden. Okay. So, right, this part. Obviously, these two connect. I'm not sure why he puts enjambment or he splits into two second and third separate stanzas. But I'm just gonna do this. Sorry. Okay. Even a bit of fancy. Alright, this part is really just too romantic. Okay. Alright, then the next part. Retrieve a fond piece of jewelry left by a lovely lady. Okay, let me just. Okay, I need a ruler to do this. Okay. And I suggest in your exam to bring a ruler as well. Okay, let's see if this works. Yes, such a neat straight line. Okay, because that's the part of the fruit. The rest of it is just the poet's imagination. Okay, so let's see. I need 3 ideas to talk about how the picture of the fruits is vivid. Okay, so first thing that I can say. Alright, I think this part, definitely the way he describes it as miraculous abundance, shows a lot of, exaggerates. He exaggerates, yes, but in what way is he exaggerating the fruits? Exaggerates them as a miracle. Okay. Exactly what is miraculous about this? Okay. Right, and for miraculous, I can draw the line special, or okay, special is a very overused word. Maybe okay, unique would be too similar, but something that's a miracle like a rainbow, right, would be awe-inspiring. Awe-inspiring. Sorry for my handwriting again. Getting used to this tablet. Alright. I think what I might want to notice also is the fact that he bothers to name every single thing. Right? Not just to fill up space. Apple cherry, that's fine, but he says 2 kinds of oriental pears. Alright? And then he describes apricot, half done, that's 6. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Goes to describe the color, go describe the sweetness. Do you need me to change to different color? Let me know, otherwise I'll just continue using red throughout. Okay, let me know for future videos. So maybe not just exaggerates, maybe for part B I might say careful attention to detail. Alright, which does what? Don't just tell me it's careful attention, I can see this, but which does what? Maybe shows love and care for them. Right, you could link it maybe to how special or awe-inspiring they appear to him. Okay, moving on to second stanza or second idea. Remember, you only need 2 paragraphs at least for part 1. Okay, if you want to get A, either 3 paragraphs for either part 1 or part 2. I highly do not recommend having 3 paragraphs for both, because usually you run out of time to do the next part of your paper 1. Okay, alright, so part 2, looking at this, alright, blah blah blah. So reaction, what kind of reaction? reaction of joy is vivid. So let me just check out. Reaction of joy. Yeah, okay. Vivid picture of the fruits, right? Through his reaction. Reaction of joy is vivid because it's unexpected. Okay. Maybe we can say, unexpected reaction to. I mean, after all, this is foods, right? To foods or food. You don't like celebrate every time you get foods, which are pretty common, alright? You need to state that, because if this was durian, it might be special. To foods which are common. Right, then there's also the fact that, oh dear, oh shucks, I realize, okay. Oh, you can't see the words that I've been writing. How do I do this? Give me a sec. Oh, I can't scroll. Okay. Alright, I'm going to try moving this to the left a bit. Does this work? Okay. And then I'm going to try moving back left. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay, getting used to this. Alright. So as I mentioned over here, common. Right? Moving on. Perhaps the way he describes. See, there's this part about the bugs grow in the warm sun, so in non-collective weight. Perhaps the way he. It's not just detailed description of the shapes of the fruits, but the loving the way. I mean, the way he loves them is also one thing. I don't know, loving description, or you could say the way. I mean, it is a bit loving the way he describes. Describes them so tenderly. Tender way he describes, or I mean, you could just make it simple. Just say that he describes that he loves their appearance, their shape. Okay, loving description of appearance and shape, right? Because usually you don't care about the shape of the tree, you just want the fruit, you just want to eat it, right? But he's describing shape of, okay, I'm gonna move this of tree, which, usually gets little attention. And you can explain, because that's, people don't usually eat it, alright? A lot of common sense here. Yeah. Words like collective weight, maybe not so much, but graceful curtsies. Oh yes, personification. Can also say use of personification to describe trees. Oh, sorry. As having human bodies. Okay. Alright, moving on. The last part, stooping low to drink fresh dew on the grass. Or even, alright. This last part, how is it a vivid picture of the fruits? So, I'm thinking like, the branches arch to retrieve a found piece of jewelry, perhaps describing the fruits. Okay, describing the fruits as the jewelry, because I mean the tree branch is like bent over because the fruit is at the end, right? And if it's bending over to pick up the fruit, then so I pick up the jewelry, then it looks like it's picking up the fruit, I guess. So describing And it kind of makes sense because food is, made by pollination. It's the food of the tree. So if you have love making, under the stars, very personified, describing the food as a piece of not just any jewelry but expensive jewelry. Oops. Okay, let me erase this piece of expensive jewelry. Alright. And sorry. As result of passion, of again contrasted with like the usual, I don't know, bee pollination, right? Makes the process of biology more romantic or exciting. Okay, so you should have some contrast. Next part, moving on. Right, significance of the fruits. Okay, let me see how to do this. Okay. Significance. So what do they represent? Or what do they mean to him? That render both children. So there's this contentment. What kind of contentment is going on, I wonder? Right? Shapes swollen by fertile soils, rounded, calm lovingly, attain these perfect forms. Okay? Main thing is that it's contentment, right? Through these shapes. Okay? Okay, and the next part, at last to give, so okay, we got content, we got joy. What's the gift of themselves with all that sweetness? Sorry, okay, don't mean to cancel the word. Okay. And the last part. Soil generity. Okay, lighten, the time is different from joy. And again, we cannot tell for sure. Okay. So we have our remaining 3 ideas, A, B, C. Okay, let's look at the first one. Generally, I can say content. Significance of the fruits through contentment of. I don't just want to say children and fruits, but of everyone, young and old. Okay. Right, so basically it pleases everyone. Okay. All in their shape. Okay. I might even want to say like unite them, unites people, because young and old usually don't come together. Maybe even gives them, because this part says perfect forms, right? So maybe even say encourages them. No, not quite. It's like how you see someone growing and you want to like encourage them. Give them something to root for. Pun. Gives people something to watch. Watch together. Yeah, watch together. Right? Activity of watching. Oops. Okay. Activity of watching together. What should activity of watching together? Okay, part B. Miraculous cook, blah blah blah, fill us with joy. Okay, so I mean, yeah, it's a bit simplistic, but creates joy. How you analyze is going to be an issue. Creates joy. Right, this part gives so delightfully of themselves. Okay. Through selfless giving / generosity. I spell generous correctly. Generous. Oh, whoops, sorry. generosity. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know. You might want to mention something about how I understand why it says miraculous completeness, because it's like it's a miracle how food is created without us doing anything. Okay. Yeah, especially without expecting us, without mention of us. Or okay, maybe like mention expectation. Working. Because it's fruit tree, it's not like in the farm. That's why you don't need to work hard for it. Okay, and last but not least, we have part C. Lighter in time, when again you cannot tell for sure. Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? World War II. When people plant trees, or after a Japanese occupation, as some extra food for themselves. And they don't know whether, war is going to come again, crisis, famine, starvation, water rationing, whatever is going to come again to Singapore. So, storage unit. And the fact that it's foods, people enjoy this, it's sweet, makes everyone cheerful, lightens the time. Alright? As means of, I'm not going to say joy again, I'm going to say security. It's a means of security. Yeah. I'm going to leave this blank, right? In future times of unpleasantness. Right, and that's why it's significant, because it's a means of security, right? Maybe safekeeping. What other words can we use? Safekeeping. Reminders of love. Yeah, I don't know. Reminders of love. Reminders of hope. Seeds of hope. Hey. Yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah, any tips on this video, anything you're not sure about, please put comments below. Thank you, and all the best.